Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krystle, just in case you are new here, and today I have my spring TBR for you. With spring being days away at this point, I am so excited for all of the atmospheric spring reads that I plan on reading this season. I have been reading, and I will do a reading wrap up of recent reads that I currently read. That'll be the next video that I post. But I have been reading, but I just haven't been making as much content. I just don't have the time to like read and put the content out as much as I would like to, as I used to have the time to, but I'm working on finding a balance and bringing that to you all. But I have a bunch of kind of spring atmospheric, gothic, mystery, fantasy books that I want to read these next couple of months. And there will probably be books in between these, but these are definitely the ones that I need to get to that have been on my TBR for a while. There's some new releases here and some backlisted books as well. So let's just get into this spring TBR. So the first book I'd like to mention, which is my current read at the moment, and it's springy kind of, but I'm just loving the vibes of this book, and that is the London Saiyan Society, and this is my book of the month club copy of it. It is such a beautiful cover. I just love the cover alone, and I'm loving what's inside of it as well. This is a story that takes place, I want to say, in Victorian London area, and this is about a like secret society that of the occult that only like men are allowed to be a part of, but our main characters are two women, and this is a sapphic story as well, which I'm really enjoying. That point of view in this time period is really interesting. We first start off with our seance artist and her, I want to say protege, someone who's studying under her to do seances as well, and they are starting off with a seance in the beginning of this book. But during the seance, the main character, Vaudeline, she gets, well, one of the main characters, she gets a letter stating that someone that she loved has passed away, and it kind of disrupts the whole seance. And the other main character, Lena, she is taking on the seance herself, and she's also starting to experience these like powers that she has beneath her while she's doing the seance. So that's how you kind of start off, but there's also multiple like perspectives in here. So you have Lena's perspective, and you have the man who runs the London Seance Society's perspective as well, and I'm getting to the point now where they're kind of like meeting. But this book is a like mystery, but also touches upon the occult, and I think that is so cool. Also, there's romance in here. It's really interesting. I love this time period. I have a few books here from that time period. I don't know why London just screams spring to me for some reason. Like reading that type of setting just brings like spring vibes to me. So I'm looking forward to getting more into this story and letting you guys all know what my thoughts are. But you know, I love anything that has to do with the occult and magic, witchcraft, herbs, all of that. So I'm starting to get that feel of this book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Then the next book I'd like to talk about is In the Shadow Garden, and this is by Liz Parker. This is such a great book for me right now because it does take place, well, it takes place in the South, but it also takes place at a tea shop, a magical tea shop with a magical garden. But there's also romance, and there's also family drama, all of that, all the things that I loved of like practical magic. This book is giving me those vibes as well, but taking place in a different type of setting, not in a New England setting. I'm loving this, and the cover is just so beautiful. So this is my second current read at the moment, and I'm really enjoying every minute of this book. Enjoying this book a lot more than I thought I would, and it does have those cozy small town feels, which I really love in cozy mysteries, and this has a little bit of a mystery as well. So I'm looking forward to getting more into this story and letting you guys know my full thoughts on it, but so far really good. I'm loving it. The next book that I have on my spring TBR is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. I can never say your name, and I'm so sorry. But I would love to read this as soon as possible. This is like a fairy tale, gothic-esque story. I know the main character is obsessed with like fairy tales and studying myths and folklore and things like that. So I'm curious to see more about this. I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about this book as if they've read it. I know a lot of people have been wanting to read it, but I'm looking forward to reading this as soon as possible and letting you guys know my thoughts. This is my book club pick for the month of April, March and April, I believe, for my Gothic book club that I have on Instagram, so I have to get to this as soon as possible. The next book is a reoccurring book on this TBR of mine, and that is the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. I wanted to read this in the winter, but you know what? I think this screams spring, and I think I'm gonna eat up this series in the next coming months, so I am leaving it for that. I'm about like halfway, like close to halfway through. I've put it aside because I just want to continue it on with this series in the spring. So I will let you know my full thoughts on this, hopefully by the summer. I have a Jane Austen book, and that is Northanger Abbey, or Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. These covers are so pretty that I got from Barnes & Noble, but I really want to read Jane Austen books. I have not read anything. I own a lot of her books, but I don't have any recollection of reading them, so I would love to get into her literature and like kind of know what everyone's talking about when they quote Jane Austen or when a book is influenced by Jane Austen. So I'm looking forward to getting to this spring, and I feel like Jane Austen just screams spring. I think the vibes, I think just like the awakening of romance, things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting to this very soon. Then next I have a new release that I just picked up from the bookstore yesterday, and that is The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. This is a new fantasy series about like a necromancer, basically. The main character, her magic has to do with like the dead, which I thought was really cool, and also takes place in like these kingdoms that are ruled by poisonous plants. So I thought this would be a great book for me to read. You know, spring and plants and growing of herbs, that's what I'm all about. So I'm looking forward to getting into this dark fantasy series. I believe there's some romance in here as well. So looking forward to getting to this new release this coming season. And I have stickers on all of like my books that I got from Barnes & Noble because I just don't want to rip them off. I feel like they ruin the covers. The next one I have here is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. Now, I was watching Olivia Reads a Latte, and she was saying that this is like the perfect CW show wrapped in one. So I want to pick this up. I have a bunch of friends that did love this already, and I've heard great things, hence why I picked it up. But it takes place in like a magical forest, I think, and I think there's all different types of magical creatures, and it's just like this, you know, woodsy town that's just trying to, you know, be a CW show apparently. So I'm looking forward to getting to this. I think it'll be a nice, fun, quick weekend read, and you know, it has all the fantasy tropes that I enjoy in my books. And next I have a long-awaited book that I've been holding on to for quite some time, and that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I read the City of Bones series in a spring setting. I think I picked them up during the spring many years ago, probably like 10 years ago at this point. So anytime the spring comes around, I get in like a Cassandra Clare mood. So I really would love to pick up this series. This is an extension on the Infernal Devices series. So if you haven't read the Infernal Devices series, I would suggest picking that up first and then getting into this series. I have read the Infernal Devices, the City of Bones series. I did not read the Dark Artifices, oh my gosh, I can't say the word, series yet, but I would love to read this first because this does take place in like Victorian London, you know, my favorite type of setting. I think it's going to be great for the spring. I believe it takes place in the summertime also, so you've got all of those like spring awakening vibes, summer awakening vibes, and I think it has to do with fairies a little bit too, which is interesting for Cassandra Clare. And also I would just be so happy to be back into the Shadowhunters world. I miss it. It's been a while since I've read in that world, so I think I'm gonna love this. And with the final book coming out in this little trilogy, these books are huge, I'm looking forward to like finishing this off and crossing it off my list. Hopefully by the end of the year I'll be done with this series. But yes, looking forward to starting this and enjoying it. Next I have a lovely romance, and that is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, and I fell in love with the characters, the town, the people, everything about the dogs, everything about that book I fell in love with. So I'm really looking forward to continuing on in Knock 'Em Out and reading about another character group that were featured in the first book. I also know that like the characters that were in the first book do reappear in the second book, so I'm looking forward to seeing where everyone's at and just being back in this world. I loved the first book so much, more than I thought I would, honestly. Thought it was such a great book and I highly recommend it. So I cannot wait to pick this up. And I love the covers. They're just so springy and beautiful. So they're just fun to like take pictures of and walk around with and let people ask you what you're reading. I think that Lucy Score writes the perfect amount of spice in her books. I'm not a big romance reader, and when I do get to super spicy parts I get a little cringy, not gonna lie, because I do love romance in my books, but once it starts getting to the, you know, sexy time, I get a little, I don't know, it's just too descriptive in ways that it probably shouldn't be. So looking forward to getting to this. Next, I have another Jane Austen book, and that is Pride and Prejudice. I've never read this. I would love to know the buzz about Mr. Darcy, so I'm going to be picking this up. And again, these beautiful Barnes & Noble covers are just so, oh, I love them so much. They're so pretty to walk around with and aesthetic, and I'm looking forward to reading them and holding them in my hands. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading Pride and Prejudice. I believe I saw the movie when it first came out, but I just don't remember much about it. And I'd like to read this before I rewatch the movie again. The next I have a mystery thriller, and that is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I did start this like a little while back in the winter time, and I kind of put it aside because I just wasn't in the mood for it, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I believe the second book is coming out or came out, so I really would love to get to this. I feel like I could read it rather quickly, so I need just like a weekend off where I could just binge it and get it done. Sometimes when I sit too long with a mystery thriller, I kind of lose interest, so it needs to kind of be the only thing I'm reading, and I need like a 3-day span to just get it done and move on. So I'm looking forward to getting to this because everyone's talking about it. I need to know what everyone's talking about. The next I have a book that's probably been on my TBR, the most recent one that I posted, but I'll probably just be getting to it now, and that is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I am looking forward to this. I think it's going to be the perfect dark, gothic, romance, supernatural story, and I'm looking forward to getting to it. It's geared towards YA, but I think it was also marketed as an adult, so I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to make my assumptions on it when I get to it. But yeah, looking forward to getting to this, and I believe there's like tarot cards involved with this, which I love. I read tarot cards, so I'm really excited to read a gothic story about that. I just love having those types of elements in my books. It just makes me feel excited, and I feel like I can relate, and I just like have knowledge of it, so it just makes me feel excited. Not gonna lie. Nothing else screams spring to me than some Miss Marple by Agatha Christie. So I have here Sleeping Murder, and I'm looking forward to getting to this one very soon. It's a short one, and I read her books so quick. They're just so easy to digest. It's a great palate cleanser of a book, so I'm looking forward to it. And this cover just screams spring, doesn't it? It's just so pretty. I could see myself like sitting in a park reading this on a bench somewhere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to Miss Marple. And I think this takes place in the English countryside at a, you know, Gothic estate that this woman purchases on her own. Even though she's newly married, her husband is away, and he leaves it up to her to find the most perfect house for them to live in their new life. And she finds it, but there's some unconventional, spooky things happening in this house, and she calls upon Miss Marple to help her, figure things out. So I'm looking forward to getting to this very soon. All of these books are gonna happen very soon, right? Like every single one I'm gonna just read in a week. But we'll see what happens. We'll see which ones by the end of spring, beginning of summer, I actually get to, and I'll update you guys on that. But next I have here just like a cozy mystery, and this is The Tale of Holly Hal by Susan Whiting Albert. This is, I want to say it takes place in the English countryside also. This is based on Beatrix Potter's life, who is a well-known like British author for some of her children's stories. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this. I think she's going to be like, you know, someone who solves murders, just because I think it's just a great setting for the spring. And of course it's a cozy mystery, so I love those. I have here another young adult springy type book, and that is A Far Wilder Magic, and this is by Allison Saft. This is a magical realism book that takes place, I want to say, in... Does it take place in London also? I'm not exactly sure. But this is just a magical realism romance. And there is some like a murder mystery element to it, I believe. It says, an intoxicating love story set against a mythical hunt in the Gothic town of Wigton. Maggie Welty lives alone in an old creaking manor, but when she spots the Hala, a legendary fox creature, she knows the half-moon hunt will soon follow. Whoever kills the Hala will earn fame and riches. While Maggie is the best sharpshooter in town, she needs the help of an alchemist to be in with the chance of winning. Enter Wes Winters, fired from every apprenticeship. This is his last chance. Maggie and Wes make an unlikely team, a charismatic but troubled boy and a girl who has endured life in a town that never welcomed her. But the pair are drawn together as they uncover dark magic that could be the key to winning the hunt, if they survive that long. So it sounds like not a murder mystery, like I said, but it's, you know, just a relationship growing. And an alchemist is someone who creates magic, so I'm sure there's going to be some type of like elemental magic system happening here in this book. And then they're hunting a fox, which I don't know how I feel about like hunting animals and things like that, but we shall see how it all turns out. It is YA, so it shouldn't be too bad on that aspect. But I've heard great things about this. A lot of people say this is a great book, but you know, people are saying that it's a great book, but the ratings are pretty low on Goodreads for it. So I'm curious to see my opinion on this, and I think it's going to be a rather quick read as well. It's not that many pages, and it's YA, so I will update you guys on my thoughts when I get to it. But it just sounds like the perfect spring read. Being in the woods, you know, with plants and things like that. I am just ready for the trees to start budding and the flowers to start growing. So I feel like this will be a great start to the spring season. That is it for all of the springy type books that I want to read this spring. And like I said, there will probably be some more books thrown in between that I pick up. But these are the definite ones that I'd like to get to this season. If you are going to be reading any of these, please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you've enjoyed any of these books, but don't make any spoilers for me. I would love to know your opinions. Give me some star ratings, but that's about it. If you like this video and you want to see more from me, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to try to have more of a presence here as much as I can. I'm trying my hardest, but I finally had some time before work this morning to film, so I am happy to get this video out for you guys. But yes, I will try my hardest to be more present here, and I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers and all the new subscribers, because I recently got an influx of a lot more subscribers. I don't know from where, but thank you for subscribing. Make sure you like and share this video. Comment if you'd like. Make sure you check out my Pengo Books page, which I will link down below. I have been selling a bunch of books for my collection because I'm running out of room on my shelves. So I have been unhauling some books on there. So if you want to see the ones that I've been unhauling, and if you're looking to purchase, I will share the link down below for you. And also links to all my other social medias are down below as well. So on that note, I will be talking to all of you guys very soon. Bye!